I'm Julie Banderas, and you're in the strategy room. Wednesday's anti-Iran rally on Capitol Hill is putting renewed focus on Ted Cruz and Donald Trump's pseudo-friendship as they compete for the Republican nomination. Cruz, who is, of course, lower in the polls as compared to Trump, is looking to tap into the Republican frontrunner's base of supporters. But could that work for the Texas senator? Here with their take is Basil Smikle Jr., executive director of the New York State Democratic Party, and Liz Peek, columnist with the Fiscal Times. Welcome to you both. Okay, could Cruz's strategy really work? He partners up with Donald Trump. They seem like friends, and then he's somehow going to catch up?
I think it's very clever. We know Cruz is a brilliant guy, and I think this is one of the best things he's done on the campaign trail, and you can see it. First of all, he is the only Republican candidate who has not come out and denounced Donald Trump. I mean, from the very beginning, he has been very careful not to clobber him for his immigration comments or anything else. Very canny. His polling was much worse at the beginning of Donald's ascent than it is now. He has sort of begun to track with Donald. Why? Because he is positioning himself to be the guy there if Donald blows up and gets out of the race for whatever reason or his star fades. Cruz is the obvious person to step in and take those followers, and that's a big deal. They're not going to go to Jeb Bush, and they're not going to go to Carly Fiorina, people he've had big spats with. So I thought, and you know, just in terms of plain old politics, how brilliant to get him involved in a rally where you're hoping to get some attention. Right. Trump brings attention. He brings ratings. So it makes sense.
And it seems that people care about who he likes and dislikes, because when Trump doesn't like someone, he really doesn't like
That's Carly Fiorina.
And if he likes them, he's great. So it almost seems that if he doesn't like someone, all of his followers and all conservatives who support him will automatically dislike that person.
I know.
Right.
So he's trying to, so it's almost seems like the cool kid, and it's like a clique. I mean, it kind of reminds me of high school.
It's it's a great bromance they seem to have going on right now. Frenemies, if you will, but we'll see how long that lasts. So I think Liz is absolutely right. You follow the cameras. Donald Trump is getting all the cameras, getting all the attention, and Cruz is saying, hey, let me be your number two. I think that's a good strategy, but I think the problem.
You think number two as in vice president?
No, number two is in.
No, but if he didn't get the nomination, do you think that Trump would turn to Cruz? Could he be lining himself up as the VP?
It's possible, but I think Cruz is saying to himself, I don't think Donald's going to last the whole thing. At least for his supporters, let me be your number two. And my guess is, and the challenge though, and I think the danger for the candidates though, is the longer you do not repudiate Donald Trump's messaging, the more it will stick to you. So you're going to have to do a bit of a dance if you need to switch strategies as we get closer to the primary.
You know, Basil says that, you know, if Cruz is really thinking that Trump is not going to make it to the end, then he would step in. But the conservatives are still really supporting him. He's still a Republican frontrunner. His support is still growing among Republicans. It doesn't look like it's slowing down.
No, I mean, right now there's no the possibility or opportunity might be, you know, if in this outlandish world he became the nominee and became president, yeah, Ted Cruz could run as his VP. Why not? I mean, he has sort of a foot in the Hispanic camp, right, which could undo some of Trump's unbelievably unfavorable polling amongst Hispanics. But the other thing that is a natural alliance here is that Cruz came to everyone's attention, made his name by being a disruptor, an anti-establishment senator, kind of going into the Senate his first term and just sort of not paying attention to any of the rules and conventions, earning the enmity of the establishment, which of course Trump has done immediately. So in some ways, philosophically, they're kind of aligned. So Basil, you're right that some of this stuff's going to stick to him, but you know what? He kind of is there anyway. So I'm not sure on every policy, because Donald Trump's policy is like popcorn going off. You don't really know where it's going next. But in some of the things on immigration and stuff, he's just as hard line.
I will say, though, one of the things that's scary for Democrats is that there have been some articles written recently that Donald Trump is appealing to liberals. And there's some reasons why, which are particularly compelling, especially some union members with respect to, you know, the fact that he's done construction and building, and he's actually hired union. So what's interesting to me is if Donald Trump does make it through a primary, what is the appeal for a Ted Cruz, whether he makes it through the primaries or not, or is Trump's number two or not? Is there appeal for Ted Cruz among liberals as well, in the same way that Donald Trump is appealing to those?
Here's the question.
I'm not sure that's the case.
I mean, what about Cruz? How can he actually come out of the shadows of Donald Trump and actually move into the top tier?
I think he won't unless Donald fades. And there will be a point, and I think, when the number of insults, the number of egregious comments about people that are thought highly of, like John McCain, et cetera, the number of insults just get under people's skin. And if we have another debate.
I can't imagine it would get any worse, and it still doesn't seem to turn people
surely,
off, which is
surely
shocking.
there's just like a Chinese water torture, you know, here. And if there's
So
another
we're being
debate
waterboarded as
where
well.
someone's, yeah, exactly,
Something
where
like that.
where someone doesn't treat Donald well, and he blows up as he does every time if someone challenges him, 2, 3, 4 instances of that aren't even his friends going to say, well, wait a minute, can't you take any criticism? You're running for the president of the United States. What's your personality going to be like when you're in the Oval Office?
So far, he hasn't
these are
shown,
serious
though,
issues,
any qualities
right?
of being able to take criticism. I mean,
No,
there's
he's
not been
terrible at it.
One, I mean, the Hispanic anchor that he.
Ramos, Jorge
I mean,
Ramos, yeah.
that was embarrassing. And
It's awful.
I mean, politicians need to be able to handle tough questions for them. Journalists, I mean, that's our job.
And you can't alienate anybody. You can't push people away from you, and that's what he is good at doing. And that's great television, but it's not. You don't get votes that way.
No, I think that's right.
Yeah.
So there's a chance he
So
fades.
Ted Cruz is waiting for him to implode.
Absolutely.
I think so. I think so.
Absolutely.
Okay. Basil Smikle Jr., thank you very much, and Liz Peek. Great to have you both in. Thank you for watching. Check out foxnews.com for more on the 2016 presidential race. I'm Julie Banderas. Thanks for watching.